morning, everybody. No opening statement, so we'll just go right to questions. But do want to wish all the Minnesota High School Football Association and all the high school teams they start the playoffs all the best, and wish them all the luck as they go into the playoffs. So with that, we'll open up for questions.
Have you seen the defense continually improve?
What's that? Say that again?
How have you seen the defense continually improve over the last few years?
I think it's just consistency. I think every coach in America, they want to see consistency out of their teams, no matter what sport it is. I think consistency helps you evaluate. Not only that, knows where you need to get better, where you're improving. But I just continue to see consistency and guys playing incredibly hard, playing for each other, complementary defense. And we were 1-0 against Maryland. That's the only thing that we're good enough to do right now was beat Maryland. And we need to be better, need to change our best. A lot of things to improve on, but I think the consistency piece across the board, keeping things in front of us. There's some explosive plays here and there, yes, but we get it on the ground, and then force people to keep the drive alive. I think when you watch the Ohio State game, then it was very different, where the explosive plays led to the touchdown, and then there wasn't a chance to get them on the ground. But just consistency overall.
For your receiver room, is that the same message? They need to be more consistent outside of Ottman Bell?
They do, and we've got a lot of guys that haven't had a ton of playing time leading up to this year or being in that role, but they've made a lot of big plays for us too. But it's being able to do that over and over and over and be reliable in those situations. I thought Tanner played really well. I think he had 2 throws that were a little bit behind a receiver, but we got to be able to make those catches. And, you've 8 of 13, you're not throwing the ball a ton. So when you do it, you've got to be efficient. And then that'll breed more throws and more catches. But, there were 4 drops, and then there was 1 clock it at the end of a half. So I think Tanner's playing better than he did at the beginning of the year. And, our catch radius has to continue to improve, which I know our guys have accepted that challenge, understand it. It's very real. It's transparent. It's open. And I think our guys appreciate that, of knowing that, we've got to be better.
Coach, with Cole Kramer, would you evaluate his play so far and talk a little bit about his strengths?
Yeah, first of all, appreciate Cole. I think he's a really good football player, very selfless, wants to do whatever he can to help the team get better, and understands his role, accepts his role, and wants to improve inside of his role. Yesterday's working with Coach Burns at practice last night, doing a ton of running back drills, right, and going through the chutes and understanding pad level and understanding schemes. You're truly coaching him, one, as a quarterback to play quarterback, and then you're also coaching him to be a tailback, right, and run like a tailback. So there's 2 different skill sets there, 2 different coaching points of those things, and the run game and the run, what everybody's doing. And he knows all that, but truly running through it is different, of getting the feel of the actual run, which that always worries you, even with the young tailbacks, is the feel of the run, the feel of the play. There's a lot of things that go into that. So, but I think he's doing a really good job. I do. Does he have to improve? Yes. Does he have to be able to lower his pad level? Yes. Does he have to run within the scheme a little bit more? Yeah, but those are things that you just improve with every player every single week, and the consistency just has to continue to get there. But I think he's running really hard.
Does he probably or necessarily go in if Tanner was sick or something happened, he couldn't play for a while?
We have plans of who'd go in and what kind of game is it, what's happening, what's the flow. He's always going to be an option for us, as well as Zach Annexted, and we have options, which is a good thing.
A lot of Big Ten teams have struggled in the red zone this season. You guys have had a lot of success on both sides. What is, if you could boil down sort of the keys to doing well in that game situation, in that critical, what are they, and how much practice time do you spend on that?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the efficient execution. It's one, the game plan, 2, the players understanding exactly what the game plan is, and then executing it. It's not about just what are the 15 routes we're going to run this week in the green zone. Nope. We have a series of plays we run. 85% of our offense, in terms of, okay, this is our 85% of the green zone package is this, and then it's about 15% of maybe some changes and some tweaks here and there. Maybe a new player or new wrinkle here and there, but I always think you have to be able to run the ball in the green zone. You have to be able to run the ball, and we call it the green zone, we call it the red zone, but you have to be able to run the ball down there, and I think we've been efficient doing that. Beginning of the year, we had to kick some field goals, miss some field goals early. We get to the green zone and some things would break down, and it was just efficiency. It was just either a drop ball, bad throw. We didn't win on first and second down there. So it's just being able to have a mindset and stick to what you do really well and be consistent. But the game planning of Matt Simon and Mike Sanford's been really good down there, and the execution from the players have been really good. And up front, our guys take a lot of pride, no matter where they are. We always talk about you got to play the situation. Just don't play the play. Football is a game of situations, right? Everybody says it's a game of inches, yes, but it's a game of situations. Every single play in a football game is its own situation, and playing and understanding that truly matters. And the whole offseason is about education, about how good teams are in the green zone, can be directly correlated to how well they do at the end of the year with their record. Same thing with third down, same thing with 78%, right, with the ball, explosive plays and tackling. So constantly showing your players, how do you win? How do you win? How do you win? How do you win? Even the end of the half stuff. You're doing everything you can to win, right? Whether people are happy about that or how we think about that or not, we have passionate fans. That's a great thing about it. We're passionate fans. But I don't have a chance to explain it to everybody over the intercom of exactly what I'm thinking in the final 40 seconds of a half. They just have to trust me that we're going to do the right thing to go score points. So it's the same thing like that. You have to just do what your football team really does well, trust the plan, and put your team in the best position to be successed.
What special challenges does a team coached by Pat Fitzgerald present to you?
They're incredibly disciplined. I mean, this is the Big Ten West champs. And they're going to be the Big Ten West champs until somebody in 2021 dethrones them in December, right? Or they'll still stay on top. I mean, that's an option for them too, right? So this is a very, very disciplined team who's incredibly deep. They are very deep. They play their tail ends off on defense. They're really well coached. I mean, Pat Fitzgerald's been a staple in the Big Ten. He's a tremendous coach, tremendous person, gets the most out of his teams. And it's a very disciplined team that doesn't beat themselves, fly around on defense and offense. They execute at a high level. And, we've got to be at our best come Saturday. And we got a lot of work to do until then. We've only watched the film for the last, starting yesterday and today. So we got to continue to study it and come up with the best game plan we possibly can. But ton of respect for them and Coach Fitzgerald and their staff.
What do you think has clicked for Assezi in recent weeks?
Well, I think he just is a product. He's a product of just getting better every single week, right? Players have a choice whether you're going to get better or not, right? And keep changing your best, and he always has. He's a guy that's played a lot of football here, but just because you play a lot of football doesn't make you a really good football player. And he's become a really good football player because of the amount of football that he's actually practiced, played. He's big, he's long, he's physical. He was a kid that when we brought here, we were like, will he ever get big enough? Will he ever get big enough? And now you look at him, and he's one of the bigger defensive ends in the league and plays incredibly hard, does it for his teammates. Again, I keep using the word selfless. He's that. He's fun to coach, great teammate, and incredibly skilled. So, he works incredibly hard at his craft, and he knows what he has to get better at. And he's, a lot of these guys, they'll take the criticism and they want to be coached, right? And that's a special quality and trait to have. Everybody just assumes that's the way it is, and not necessarily.
PJ, with your three running backs, it seems like each of them have their own separate skill sets. How would you describe those different skill sets, and then does that influence how and when you might use them?
Yeah, they all have their own skill sets. I think you hit it right on the head, Andy, that they all possess something different than each other. The main thing they all have to have is the ball. They have to be able to secure the ball, and that's the number one thing we talk about with our football team, period, right? But other than that, they all do really unique things. Now, you'd love to have tons of data to show you what they really do in game situations, so you can really have that data from whether it's spring or whether it's in season. You'd like to have a little bit more of that before guys get on the field. That's why when you're playing freshmen, you're like, all right, well, you're not sure what you're going to get, right? But you know what you're going to get. It's just what kind of data in a game do you have to be able to reflect back on that? And that's why a lot of times the more experienced players play, because you know exactly what you're going to get, and you can plug that into your game plan. But I think everybody, it's kind of easy to see. I mean, Bucko, he can run in between the tackles, but he can also bounce it if it's not there. You just got to make sure somebody doesn't bounce it too much, right? And then Kai, he can run in between the tackles and do those things. And But as they continue to learn the schemes, it's doing your style and having your style within the scheme and trusting what you see. And that just comes with reps and time, because you're studying your opponent in season, but it's also studying the plays that we have over the course of the last 3, 4, 5 years of just having those cut-ups to keep going back to and to keep mastering. But that comes with time. And then Bryce has been here for a long time that has his own. So I wouldn't sit there and say they have, this one has just this one just has this, and this one just has this. They all possess a lot of things. And we're going to keep finding out what they do have as you keep going forward. But yes, to answer your question, it does, when you are game planning for your personnel. But again, you can't say, hey, every time we're going to do this, we're going to put this player in the game, because that forms a tendency. So you've got to be able to have them do a lot of things, but really steer it towards a direction of what they do well in the game plan.
How much value has Axel Ruschmeyer provided as an extra lineman?
Yeah, I mean, he has been maybe one of the most improved players on our entire football team. Excited we have another year with him after this year, because I think he's only going to continue to play the best football he can play in the future. So this week, next year, he is a guy that is truly a self-made guy. He's one of the strongest players on this football team. I mean, he is a gym rat. He's got a great personality. He's a connector, and he's tough in every area of his life. He's smart, loves his life, and is just a great teammate. So the future's really bright for him, but he's been a huge asset to us even this year, and he'll continue to be.
BJ, how does that one-game season mentality kind of help you help your program in general? Just as you continue to stockpile wins, every week means a little bit more and be easy to scoreboard watch around the league. Just how does that approach help your team?
Yeah, it's about the external versus the internal. I mean, everybody here has a job to do, and but you're considered external, right? That what you say and what you write and what you create and just all the positive publicity that we have, it's still external, and they have to do everything they can to make sure that the external is very, very quiet, and they focus on the internal. What's the focus of the week? Because every week we give them, this is what we have to do to win this football game. And it's not like we kind of have to do it. This is exactly what we have to do. It's a one-game championship season, and these guys have played a lot of football for us. So, you become a creature of habit of the things that you constantly hear. And it sounds like a broken record, and it's easy to say, hey, we play in one-game seasons. But if not everybody believes in that, that's Heather. So everybody's just FaceTime. Okay, well, nope. She's in the doctor's office. I'm sure she doesn't want me to answer that one. So I probably just got in trouble. So what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the one-game seasons. That's right. But the one-game season is easy to say, very difficult to do. And I think for our guys hearing it over and over the years, they know exactly what it means, because just saying it means a lot of other things, right? Truly, the practice habits you have from Sunday, the unrequired work you do on Monday, with your position group of what you choose to do. On Tuesday, having great practice habits. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday, understanding why we do Technique Thursday and walkthrough on Thursday. And then a Fast Friday of what it has to look like. The complete buy-in to the process really helps us have that 1-0 type mentality. And that's what we want to continue to do. So we have a lot of guys who played a lot of football for us that understand exactly what it means and what it takes to go into that 1-0 season. But just because you think that way doesn't guarantee you anything. You got to go earn it, because the other team's getting coached and the other team gets scholarships, and they want to win just as bad.
Coach, I know you have a ton of respect for Coach Tressel. I'm just curious, do you talk to him some during the season, and does he even look at some game film now and then?
Oh, I don't use him as as an intern. I think he's way beyond that, or as a quality control coach. Send him stuff. But I get a text from him after every game. And remember, I was a little old GA for that man. When I say the reason why he was one of the most influential people in my life, think about that. I was a 6-month GA. I mean, I literally went to the national championship, and then after I left, I was like, this coaching thing's pretty easy. You kind of show up, you go to national championship. I mean, how hard can it be? But he taught me so much, and to keep in touch with me. Think about all the great players he's had and the staff that he's had. I am just like I'm a Fleck, which my last name means speck of dust, right? I am literally that to probably him. But he constantly reaches out to me. He knows details of the game. Hey, your young running backs played great. Congratulations. I mean, he knows details of the game. And that just shows what type of person he is and why he means so much to me. And, and people called it Tressel ball. And I take a lot of my beliefs of what we do as a program from him and how you run a game. And, even at the end of the first half, so things like that of how to go find a way to win a game and score as many points as you possibly can and put yourself in the most advantageous position to win in that very short amount of time. I mean, he taught me so many things. Doesn't mean you're perfect, but he is one of the greatest influences in my life. And I can't believe he reaches out to me every single week. That just shows what type of man he is. And he's also a president of an institution. I'm sure he's got some other things going on.
Did he bring up the end of the first half?
Did he?
Yeah.
No. No, he didn't bring it up. I'm just saying, I'm bringing that up again, just in case you wanted to talk about it again. Just because of all of those things. And I have my notes for you ready of exactly that again, if you'd like me to go over that. But I just didn't want to give the guy, number 3, the ball back as well. So that goes into it, right? So we can go on and on about it. But I think I answered that question in detail. And we have very passionate fans. But like I said, I wish I could get on the intercom. And you had a live feed. I have offense, defense, and special teams on my headset. There should be one for the crowd.
You could probably arrange.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they'd all listen too. Oh, is that what he's doing? Oh, okay. Yay. No more booze. Yay. I got it. Coach, thanks for really clearing that up for me.
We have a final one for Coach?
That Illinois-Penn State game provide kind of a teaching moment for your kids, for your players?
There's always teaching moments. Every Sunday, there's probably 5 to 10 clips I show our team from the entire country. Because there's two ways you learn, right? There's an easy way and a hard way. And the easy way is from other people's mistakes. The hard way is your mistakes. And so the easy way, I do everything I can to show them. Here's why maybe we teach what we teach. Here's why certain things like this are called. Here's why we have clock it at 3. Here's why we have certain situations that arise in a football game that maybe as you're going through like a Thursday or a Friday where it's like, we have our situational script and it's the same stuff every single week. I mean, our hands team, I do the onside kicks on Thursday. And you can ask our players. There's probably 20 of them, but I kick them all. And but there's a reason why we do that. And all different types of kicks coming from all different angles. And maybe in my next life I'll be a kicker. I have no idea. But it's and to things that people can say, oh, it's getting routine and it's boring, you show them exactly why those things are in place. And there's ways to show them all across the country if you just pay attention to what's going on out there. And I'm a fan, just like everybody else too, of sports. But there's constantly learning moments around all of us. In this league, we've said it from day one. Anybody can beat you on any given Saturday. And that's why this whole thing with this team has been, you got to be humble enough to know that anybody can beat you when you do not play your best, but confident enough to know you can beat anybody when you are at your best. And through 7 games, we've seen that even with our football team. We've had to learn the hard way. So again, you're constantly building this experience, not just from years, the guys that are 5th-year seniors or 6-year seniors from the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of them playing here, but also their own season this year, the 2021 season. And we can learn. There's always situations that come up every single week that everybody's like, hey, that's crazy. That was crazy. That ending was crazy. And we constantly show them, different things, new rules that are adapted, that are called, that maybe haven't been called in the past, of how important those things are. So you've got to find a way to continue. And that goes back to the finding cultural ways to teach these lifetime lessons, cultural ways to teach, things that can happen during a game. I think it's critical to be able to show your team that.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Row the boat, Sky, and Go Gophers. Thanks for your time, everybody.